Swaddy Cab, this is Jed with another update on retiring or living in Thailand. If you're going to be anywhere in the world during a pandemic, there's a lot worse places to be than Thailand. It's still got everything you need, it's still got the natural beauty of the country. That COVID will never take that away. The beaches are the same, the people are the same, maybe a little bit poorer, but they've got the same smiles, same happy faces. It takes a lot to get the Thai people down. They tend to get over things a lot better than, well, a lot better than I do. I suppose I'm spoiled being a Westerner. I expect things, but they take it all in their stride. So here I am on the beautiful Lamai beach. As you can see, it's deserted. It's like a desert island. I feel like Robinson Crusoe. From looking up that way, I can only see about 2 or 3 people walking, 2 people in the water, half a dozen people down there. 15 months ago, this is the mid-season, it would have been a lot of people. All these hotels, a lot of them are closed down now until COVID goes, but a lot of them will reopen as soon as possible. They're raring to go. But if you live here, this is fantastic for me, because it means that I don't have to mix with the tourists. You know, I don't have to compete with them. I don't have to worry about if I can get a chair on the beach, because they're all empty. So for being an expat living here, it's great. COVID's good for that. It's bad for a few other things. It's bad for obviously a lot of places have closed, so there's not a choice of things to do or places to stay. A lot of hotels have closed down now, so you don't have the choice. You can't just go, oh, that one looks good, I'll take it, because that one might be closed. But there's still many open. They're not making any money, but they're trying to survive until things get better, and they're offering specials, so everything's so cheap. Hotels are cheap. Restaurants have dropped their prices just to try and entice people inside. The few people that are here, they're trying to get them as customers. As you can see, there's nothing open, so they're competing for your custom, and they're willing to drop their prices. There we go. You can have a look down this way. You can see how empty the beach is. Just deserted. The good thing is also, what I do like, there's no jet skis running around making so much noise. There's no one walking along the beach trying to sell you a massage or a pedicure or a t-shirt or sunglasses, because when you lay on the beach here, when it was busy season, that's all it was, you know, every 2 seconds someone, oh, you want sunglasses, you want pedicure, no thank you, you want barbecue corn, no thank you. But you never get a rest from it, unless they know you. If you live here and they know you've been answering no for quite a long time, then they tend to leave you alone. But tourists, every 2 seconds someone's going up and saying, oh, do you want to have a manicure? Do you want a pedicure? Do you want a massage? Do you want this? Do you want that? So it's can be disturbing, you know, when you just want to sit and relax, read a book, and just chill out. But now there's no one selling anything, because there's no customers to sell it to. So, as I say, if you're a tourist, that's a bad thing. COVID's a really bad thing. It's a bad thing for everyone, but for me, in a way, this is better for me because I've got the whole of Koh Samui to myself, more or less. I can do anything I want, go anywhere I want without having to think of traffic, without having to think about noisy motorbikes flying around me. It's all just going back to what it was like 30 years ago. 30 years ago there was no tourism in Thailand. We're just starting to open up 30 years ago. And very few people, mainly backpackers from places like Australia and New Zealand because it was close to Thailand. And then people started to discover it. And then, 18 months ago, in 2020, there was 20 million tourists came to Thailand. And a lot of them go to the same places. So places like Koh Samui, Phuket, Pattaya, Krabi, they all got crowded because that's the beach towns. And locals like me living here, we would go and look for the smaller beach towns that are like on the other side of the island here. You've got places like Phnom and Sichon, which tourists don't know about. And you just take the ferry across and 20-minute drive and you've got a deserted beach. Even in the busy season because no one knows about it. But now you don't need to go anywhere. You can just stay on Koh Samui and still not have to worry about millions of tourists invading your privacy. So something good for me has come of COVID. It's not been all bad. Obviously it is bad for the local people, it's terrible, but I'm on a pension, so it makes no difference to me in a way because I still get the same money, COVID or not COVID. Whereas these poor people who used to work in these restaurants here, which are now closed, they're trying to survive somewhere, or they've probably gone back to their province and hoping their families will feed them until times get better. That's Waddy Cab. I'm on Walking Street in Lamai. It's been 3 months since the last time I was here. Last time I was here I thought it was very bad then for tourism, for shops being closed and bars being closed, but since then it's been 2 more spikes in COVID, and it's got even worse. I'll take you a walk along Walking Street, and you can see devastation that this disease, this horrible disease, has caused. It's really taking its toll on Thailand. Not just on Thai people, but a lot of these businesses were owned by Farang, by foreign owners, and they've had to just close and give up everything. They've lost everything. They've had to go back to their homes because they've got no income. They've had to lay all the Thai staff off, and it's devastating. It really is. You know, people put their life savings into these places and just have to walk away. Try to sell what they can of equipment, but nobody wants to buy because what are you going to do with the equipment if you can't open a restaurant or a bar? You know, there's not much point having it if you can't open. And a lot of these places you can buy now are already fully equipped. People have just walked out and left them. So there's some bargains here. I mean, that's the thing. When COVID goes, this is the place to come, somewhere like this, and open a bar, open a restaurant, because they're all sitting here waiting, and the rents will be very cheap. But I'll take you for a little walk and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So we go along here. This everywhere is closed. This used to be a internet shop. This bar here, Shamrock Irish Bar, it's been here for many years, and it was open 3 months ago when I was here. Didn't have many customers, but it was open. Now it's for rent. They've just had to walk away. It's now 2 o'clock in the afternoon. These restaurants would have been open, all the bars would have been open, and they would have been doing a good trade 15 months ago, but now there's nothing, and it's very sad. This once thriving town It's just died. I suppose it's the same in the UK and America, but here there's no social security, so if people have to close, they've got no backup, no help. And I just wonder if these places are ever going to open again. Even when tourists come back, it's going to take a while before people have the confidence to start a business again. Everywhere you look, closed. This used to be a 7-Eleven, but it's been stripped out. They've closed as well. Everywhere you look. This was the busiest street in Lamai. And you can see by the traffic even, you know, the odd motorbike coming down. A year ago you would have been trying to find a footpath just to walk on, so you don't get knocked over by a bike, because there'll be that many coming down. The massage shop closed up, looking all dusty and dirty. Everywhere. Very, very few places open. Another massage shop. Just walked out, left everything. See all the bills there building up, electricity bills, but they've gone back to their province. They won't be coming back here. All doom and gloom, I'm afraid. And that's up there, that's the bar areas where all the bar girls used to work. You could come up here and it mid-afternoon, right the way through till 2 in the morning, and it would be packed. It's 2 in the afternoon now, and they're not open. They're not allowed to open. The government have, since the third spike. Sweaty cap. Since the third spike, they've closed all bars for the time being. Optical over there, and here we have McDonald's. I mean, McDonald's busy everywhere you go, but not here. Closed, shut down. It's not all doom and gloom. If you think about it, this is like Thailand used to be 20-30 years ago. So if you're not if you don't want to come here and do all the tourist things, and the beaches are still here, the temples are still here to visit. There's all these, the beauty of Koh Samui is still here as it was years and years ago. This is like Thailand, what was like 30 years ago, before it in a way was spoiled by tourists. Now there you go, another 7-Eleven shut down. This area here is bar area. 15 months ago there would be bar girls sitting around there shouting, "Oh, where are you from? Come inside, handsome man." Now 2 o'clock, there's nothing. You can see the signs over there, they're for sale. So someone's going to get a bargain one day. Yeah, going back to what I was saying, sorry, distracted there. It's not all doom and gloom. To be honest, I'm loving it here, because I can still do the things I like to do. I can go to the beach, I can go up the mountains, I can still go out for dinner. The restaurants are still open. I can't go to a bar. I used to love going to the bars, the lady bars, because you can talk to them and learn about their lives. So I used to love all that, but that's in the past. So I'm sat here in one of the bar areas. This would have been full a year ago. There's been a lot of Farang sitting around chatting with them, nice looking Thai ladies, having a few beers before dinner, but it's closed, and many of them won't reopen. They're for sale. This one's for sale, one further down is for sale, so they're not going to reopen. But having said that, it's still a great place to retire to. Yes, it doesn't have what it did have at 15 months ago. You can't do all the things you used to do, but for a retiree that doesn't make a lot of difference. The weather here is still great. There's still lots to do. Restaurants are still open, but on restrictions, and this will change in the next 12 months. Once vaccines, Thailand's been very slow with the vaccine rollout. Farang can't get vaccine here until July. Local Thais are getting vaccines now, but once the vaccines are in place and they start doing giving vaccinations to all Thais, then things will open up again. The country will open up again, and then tourists will slowly start to come back. But this is a good time to come here because everything is so cheap now. You can rent a place very cheap. You can buy, if you're in the market for buying a condo, they're down at least 33%. My condo that was for sale for 2.5 million, I rent the condo, but it was for sale for 2.5 million, is now gone down to 1.9 million. So if you're thinking of coming here to retire, and you want to open a business, for instance, you can't do that on a retirement visa, but you can do it. You can still retire here, but you would need a business visa to open up a business. But you can pick up a lot of all these empty shops, all these bars, shops, internet cafes, laundries. They're all going for a song. They're all very cheap. Because they're empty, and the landlord just wants a little bit of rent to try and cover his expenses, or to try and reap some money until COVID is gone. So anyone who comes now and is in the market for buying or a condo or buying a business, there's no business to buy. You don't buy. There's no. You're not actually buying the business. You're just renting it now. Whereas before you were buying an income, whatever the bar was making, the seller sold that with it. So if they were making 100,000 baht a week, maybe they were selling that business for 1 million. Now you just rent it. And that rent might have been 20,000 baht a month. It's probably now 6,000 or 7,000 baht a month for the same building. And it's probably, a lot of them are fully equipped. People have just walked out, and the owners left. Whoever owns the shop, the premises, who was renting it to the person who's gone back overseas to lick their wounds, they are happy to rent it to you with all the equipment. So, as I said, not all doom and gloom. There's a lot of positives at the moment. Especially Koh Samui, because Koh Samui is an island, and they're handling the COVID a lot better than the rest of Thailand, because they're stopping people from coming on to the island. They're testing them as they're getting off the ferry. If there's any temperature, they're sending them to the hospital, and you have to report in every day. I have to. I have an app I have to send my temperature to. They give me a piece of paper. I have to tick all the boxes that I'm not sick, and I have to get my temperature taken, which I go to 7-Eleven and get my temperature taken. I take a photo of that piece of paper and I send it online to the Department of Quarantine, I suppose, and they keep check on it. But that's the good thing about an island is they can contain COVID. Whereas if you live in Bangkok, you can't do that. There's too many people coming and going from all over Thailand and from other parts of the world who are bringing it with them. So it's very hard to do that from a place like Bangkok, Pattaya. Phuket's another place, because that's an island and it has a causeway going across which is patrolled. So they have a barrier there where you can drive there. You don't take a ferry to Phuket. You drive across the causeway and you go through a little checkpoint, but that checkpoint is stopping all cars now and making sure that they are COVID-free before they let them on the island. So all the islands here are going to be COVID-free soon. And then they're going to start to let tourists back in to the islands, so you can get a flight into Bangkok from the UK and then a direct flight from Bangkok to Koh Samui, as long as you have a vaccination. So things are opening up again soon. They're saying 1st of July for Thailand. I'm skeptical about that. I think maybe 1st of July for the islands, but I don't think it's going to be the whole of Thailand.